Peace, peace, everybody. Greetings, greetings, greetings. From wherever you are, we appreciate y'all tuning in tonight. We just got on here, me and my homie Bayot. We about to spin the track real quick. For those who don't know what
Yeah.
spin the track is, that's a little prison term that, we're gonna spin the track and we're gonna build and destroy. We're just gonna talk about whatever's on our mind and things like that. At times, we sometimes forget, a lot of the ways we used to cope with the time, especially when it was time for us, if we had things on our mind or something was bothering us, on the outside that we just couldn't control. You know what I'm saying? So Bayak, man, I'm gonna let you kick it off, man. Like, did you ever think that by you transitioning the way you did, right? Because before we used to always fathom like, dag, how is life gonna be once we get out of here? The things we wanted to do, the things we want to accomplish, from, our book of life and, you know, um, how how did, things transpire, when you looked at that book once you got out here?
For me, it was when I was in that box, when I was in that cell, and I used to formulate what my life was going to look like in my mind. And it was very imperative that I manifest my manifestations before I got here. So I built the things that I had to do mentally to put me in position to get here. So it looked like me walking the yard with two of my mentees at the time, my youngins, and we was walking the yard, and I asked him like, "Look around, like, what do you see? What do you see? Like, tell me what you see. Like, I really like want you to look outside the box." I tell him, "Look outside the box, though. Don't just look like what's in front of you, but look around. Tell me what you see." And they
Mm-hmm.
looked around and they started telling me they see people playing basketball. They seen people on the volleyball field playing volleyball. It was some people on the football field playing football. So I'm like, okay, that's what you see. They're like, yeah, yeah. I'm like, okay. So if you was to ask me the same question, I would say this. And I start telling them what I see in regards to that river that was across from Retreat. That you can see the water, the cloud that looked like this, that was formed like that. I see the tree that looked like this in its life. I see so much more than what's inside the prison. Y'all just seen what was inside the prison. I want to see what's outside the prison. I want to be outside. So I'm not looking and holding on to what's my reality. So therefore, I manifest my reality in 2019 when I wrote my first book. And well, I wrote it prior to that. It was published in 2019. And it was all about me mentally putting myself in position to win. Because if you don't do that, you're going to be just reacting to any and everything that comes your way. And that
Yeah.
comes in with situations like, you know, the things that was embedded into us, our core issues. Since we was yay high to a grasshopper, and people would say, if somebody said this to you and somebody did that to you, you had to move out this way. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? So we were indoctrinated with different things that put us in prison, that put us in a lifestyle, put our life on the line every second of the day. And I'll never allow it to happen again.
mm.
So it's just so much, bro. And it starts with our mind because what we think, we speak, and then what we speak, we act. And then all that becomes our character. And after that, it's just our life. It's just who we are and
So, so let
everything
me
that
ask
we
you.
invest in.
So let me ask you. So when you came home, though, right? Because I know you did almost 30 years, right? So, but when you
Yeah.
came home, was life as easy as you thought it would probably be, or were things subject to change, or in fact changed according to the plan that you had?
Well, it was a combination of both because, ironically for me, I did 25 years in six different penitentiaries, and when I came home, as far as me physically doing things and just my transition, it was seamless. Like I just got locked up and did 6 months or something. But
Mm,
tackling life on life terms, I still almost 2 years. March 16th would be 2 years. Having problems. I'm still struggling. I'm hungry right now. I just came from work and I tried to order food and my car didn't work. You know what I'm saying? Come to find out, I had my card locked. You know, so
mm,
I haven't used my card in a while. I've been using money after not using any money. So it's always something here and there that is a challenge, and I embrace it all. Like a job, I was blessed to never have a problem getting a job. I always had a job for going on 2 years now. Never had a problem with that. I
mm,
actually been working two jobs here and there, and then so many different odd jobs. I'm
mm,
blessed to be in a position to be able to employ people at certain jobs, to help people get jobs. It's a lot of
mm,
things, bro. Like it's just so many different things.
mm. And I know when you say that, and fortunately, you were blessed, like, to have that. Because oftentimes what I see is individuals that do return to society, some of them do have a hard time getting a job or finding housing, and things like that. And, I can remember walking the track sometimes, and used to kind of wonder, how life really worked. You know what I'm saying? I know I've always talk about like, people have been living out here, using their credit, establishing bank accounts, just doing normal day living. See inside, everything was predicted. We knew what time we was going to chow. We knew what time we was going to the gym. We knew what time we was going to walk the track. You knew what time all the balls was going to the courts. And the whole jails out there for all action. You know what I'm saying? I was out there,
You,
yeah, man. But
you know, I was out there.
so yeah, we out there cooking them and all that. But
Yeah.
but so everything is predictable. But here it is outside, all things are unpredictable. We can get up for work today or something, then we get a flat tire going down the street. Next thing you know, we late for work. You know what I'm saying? Here it is, a host of responsibilities of keeping the lights on, paying your electric, utilities, your mortgages, whatever the case may be, opposed to us having no responsibilities inside. Like all that stuff, like especially for me, it was new to me because I was 15 years old when I went away. So here it is, facing a world of opposition, especially where everything that's supposed to be right is wrong and everything that's wrong is right. And I mean that from the perspective of, how can I say, culture shock per se, respect factors,
Yes, yes.
because remember,
Hmm.
we lived in a different culture. The culture that we lived in, there were certain things that you couldn't say. You didn't invite people to your body parts. You didn't, disrespect somebody. And if you did disrespect somebody, and whoever one of the elders or the leaders of whatever crew, they will make you go and apologize like a man. Correct? Correct me if I'm wrong. But out here, like I say, it's a culture shock because the way people disrespect people out here is as if, oh, it's okay. But when we turn around and look, that when somebody did that inside, somebody got their head cracked open or split with a lock in the sock or stabbed up. You know what I'm saying? Even when you look at, I know you could probably attest to this. Look at the guards. Like when the guards used to get out of pocket, what was sometimes the result? I mean, expound on that.
Um, Unfortunately, and fortunately, because a lot of the things that I've been through forged me into the man that I am today, and I
Mm,
despise so many of them. I victimize people, and it's two things that I want to speak on because
Mhm.
one was before and after.
Yeah.
Before, it was me striving to do the right thing. I was just graduate from getting my GED, and I just got certified as being an electrician. And
Mhm.
I was doing a lot of positive things inside the jail, just on some prison mentality type stuff. I was averaging 30 in the basketball league. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to sell a lot of tickets. Everybody used to come watch me play ball. I was happy in my space. I had pretty much a stable living condition. Anybody that was incarcerated know how it is. So hard to get a good celly. I had a good celly. We barely was in a cell together, and a CO did some things to write me up. Now, given the fact me accepting accountability for my actions, I was cutting corners and was stealing cable because of dollars. They got cable splitters. You pay for cable, you don't pay for cable, you got cable. So I was paying for cable, but I did a lot of extra stuff supporting my family on the streets the right way. I wasn't doing no legal activity. Um, but the fact of the matter is, I cut a corner and stole some cable. CO came in my cell, hooked the cable up, and wrote me up. All right, he took my job. Now I no longer can go be an electrician. I got 30-day cell restriction. I had to suck it up. He lied. He did what he did to get me booked. I sucked it up. All right, I was still in cable. I had to eat that. So
Mhm.
a couple days later, that happened on his day off. I mean, his last day, his Friday. So he come back a couple days, his Monday. He sent a security team to my cell and about this cable stuff again. There's nothing hooked up this time. I got the bunny rabbit ears. I got the antennas. I'm watching TV. They come, pull me out the cell like I was assembling a gun, real extra with it. So they take me out, search my cell, ask me about TV, all this stuff. End of the day, they leave. I get a write up. Still in
Mhm.
cable. What do you mean? So now I know I'm going to the hole. Now I'm not going to my graduation. My mom, little sister was coming up as guests. I had some other people coming up as guests, and they took it away from me. I'm going to the hole for certain now. I just was on cell restriction. You're right up while you're on cell restriction. You're going to the bucket. RHU, the hole. So now I got to go for something now. You violated my peoples. You violated me. So I put my hands on him. Other people came. I
Mhm.
put my hands on them, and I ended
So
up
you mean
getting
so you mean to tell me
vicious.
so you mean to tell me you got into the altercation with the officers?
Yes, I physically assaulted three officers with bodily injuries while performing their duties. And I
Mhm.
was already doing 22 and a half to 45 years, and I was facing 20 to 40, a whole nother 20 to 40 sentence because of my actions. And
Mhm.
I said that was before, and I will go to after in regards to being able to think past um, what was told to me in regards to if this happened, you have to do this. This is justifiable if this happened, if this was said to you. So when I was at retreat, an individual said something to me that any and every man, you know, it shakes a.
All right, Bayak was disconnected, but I'm quite sure he gonna come back in. But he was just very, he was explaining, how he had gotten to an altercation with some correctional officers, and he explained that the reason why was because there were certain boiling points that pushed him to that edge of doing so. So, long story short, I think, in a lot of ways, when it comes to like disrespect or when it comes to a person sanity, a person's family and things like that, once sometimes when those things are violated, sometimes that can push a person off to the edge. So Bayak, I was just briefly telling them how like there's certain boiling points that can push you to that edge and to where you just don't care. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you trying to stay focused and trying to touch the streets. And that could be tough
Well,
because now on the flip side, it's the same thing. Like even out here in the world, now, how many times has your patience been tested here on the streets?
well, honestly, that was more of what I was going to speak up about my second incident in regards to me not being um, focused on the things that people told me about the, like you said, the boiling points. It's not really about what somebody say and do to you. It's really how you receive it and then how you process it. Going back to my first story, I processed it as this and that happened, and I have to do this and this reason because I was indoctrinated with so many different things that justified violence. So I evolved into the man I am today through violence and victimizing people and me coming to terms with what I actually done and accepting the fact that I was wrong. So any boiling points that I, today, this is still in me because this is who I am. But that person, I'm no longer that person. So I may respond a certain way and people may see it like, oh, he's tripping. And me personally be like, no, I'm really not tripping. Like I'm just dealing with it, processing it the way that I do. Because there's so many different things that I had to prepare myself for. And one of them, I was talking to my little brother, right? And he was working at a job. And he was saying, where we from, it's not too far from where we from. It's real racist white people. And it's this lady from around there he was working with. And he was like, she was just so vicious towards him. And he tell me the story. Long story short, his story, if it was me, I would have went back to prison. And he didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
The lady was attacking him verbally. And then when he stood up and
real quick, Big Eye, you just said the things that he was going through in that situation. If you were in that exact situation, it would have sent you back to prison. That's what you just said, correct? Now, this is the big question. Now, you and I did well over decades in prison, correct? At what point do you second guess, do I really want to go through all of that again? Or do you have in your mind that if something extreme were to happen, there's a possibility or a great possibility that I'll be going back no matter what?
Okay, so
for a fact that if something extreme happened, you will go back.
Okay, so here's the paradox to the question. When it comes down to me actually doing something, that's not happening. You know what I'm saying? It's not happening. My situation where I say I would have went back, that I'm a convicted felon. Most importantly, a violent offender. I'm a murderer. So would this lady say that I threatened her and I'm on parole? That's automatically you go back to prison.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody file charges against you and say that you assaulted them or that you said you was going to assault them, they send you back to prison. So it's not the fact that I would have got violent. It's not the fact that I wouldn't been able to conduct myself in a way where I'm still a law-abiding citizen. That's not the case. The case is if something extreme happened and someone perceives something that's not really what it is. And they scream wolf when there is no wolf. But your record, when they say punch your name up and they say, oh, we got to get him out of here.
Yeah.
It's
But
that easy to
oftentimes,
get
right?
sent back.
Yeah, because oftentimes I know people like that had trouble like transitioning as far as like, it seemed like that saying like you'll forget 20 years and 20 minutes out this joint. Like I noticed that with a lot of
No
people.
doubt.
Like they'll be like, dang, I just did all this tick, but now you risking to throw it all away just because your boss said something at the job or somebody disrespect. Because there's been times where I've been in situations where it's like, yo, I'm about to throw all this stuff away. Like, but a lot of times I had to recollect and be like, hold up, I've been through too much. I'm too sharp. You know what I'm saying? Especially mentally. We played chess, Scrabble. We play all these mind games in there. Like we didn't play checkers. Like you know what I mean? So we were too strong, but at the same time, I believe that our strength, yes, our strength was inside as well. But there's a different dynamic when you transition out here in the world. It's a different type of approach and strategy, more so strategies.
Mm-hmm.
There's like different chess strategies that you have to use out here. It's not just the regular fool's mate, or it's not just chess in the yard. Because out here, you're dealing with so many different, how can I say, mask faces out here. Like people try to cover things, act like they're one thing, but they're really not. You know what I'm saying? So then you got to protect yourself, that you don't fall into the trap of playing into a fool. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yes.
So what you think?
All right. So I said before about the mental thing. So for me, as you said, I employed so many different strategies and I had so many different levels of change in different penitentiaries. So my greatest level of change was retreat. Like I evolved into a totally different person at SCI retreat. Like
Yeah.
my infancy stages started at Huddington, but when I was at retreat, it was so many different things that I was exposed to directly and indirectly. Because you know how it is when you box, your man get into something like you getting into something. You know what I mean? Like I'm from South Philly. Like somebody Lamar
Exactly.
Wilson get into something like I'm the big boy. I
Hey,
got to take care of that. I got
South Philly,
to.
listen,
Yeah,
South Philly was, I'm sorry, man, but South Philly was always the most geographical, like, yeah, I don't know, man. South Philly, man. But go ahead. I'm sorry for cutting you off, but South Philly, boy. But go ahead.
well, it was like that because like coming through these joints, we was the smallest, so we had to stick together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But all in all, it was so many different situations, right? Where it was like I had to think my way out of there because if I didn't think my way out of those particular situations, I would never be sitting where I am now talking to you. I would never made it home. It was so many different situations, and for me to be embedded as deep as I was, to really invest in my failures before I gave myself a chance to live a meaningful life, and was all with that. Like I'm not folding. I'm standing. If I gotta die in jail, I'm dying in jail. I ain't telling. I'm not doing none of that goofy stuff people be doing. I ain't doing none of that. So at the end of the day, the other things in regards to being a violent offender and a stand-up dude, I gotta do this, and I thought better. I thought my way out of that because if I didn't, I would never made it home. So it's about these situations that we experience in here now. I mean, out here now, I already been tested. I already passed the tests in here. That's how I was granted parole because I proved to be a valuable candidate for parole. It's not that I put something together and I said and I, emulated this facade that I'm this person. Y'all can let me home. No, this is who I am. This is what it's about. I'm really cut like this. So
So let me ask you
these
this.
situations that
My friend, I was going to say, so
I'm
would
listening.
you transition? Did you think, right? For instance, like when you say you've been tested and things like that, are things moving as fast as you thought it would, or are things just a little stagnant, just in general? From you coming home, the time frame that you came home, how's the world working for you? Did you catch that?
All right. So when it comes down to houses working and all that, no, say it again, bro.
No. So what I was saying is, now, as far as you
Good, I'm
transitioning out
listening.
here, are things
Ask the question again.
moving? Okay, are things moving at the rapid pace in which you thought it would? By you coming out with the time frame you've been home, are things moving as fast as you thought it would, or are things a little stagnant? But why do you think that?
Right now, bro, it's so stagnant. I for me it is. For me it is. Like life is moving fast. Advancements on top of advancements. There's so many different things that changed in my life since the day I walked out of that joint. So
Mhm.
it's moving fast. And I knew that when I was incarcerated, it's like 6 months is a year out here. You know, the things that go on in prison is slow. Our time is slowed up. Out here, it's moving so fast. There's so many different things going on. Like you don't got enough time in the day to do the things that you need to do. So
That's
the
true.
things that you want to do, you ain't really have time for that. So
That's true.
in that aspect, that's that. In regards to me, how I put my plan together in that cell, it hasn't really materialized yet.
Mm.
So in regards to me being where I thought I would be in 6 months, every six
Yeah.
months in that box I formulated in my plans that it's supposed to be this level of advancement. Oh, in 6 months it's supposed to be this level of advancement. And honestly,
Hmm.
that's really what it's supposed to be.
That's
But
true.
it hasn't
That's
worked
true.
out that way. You
Yeah,
know,
and that's a prime example, especially for those who are
yeah,
listening that did return to society or are about to return to society. Things are always subject to change. I tell people that all the time. Even though I had a reentry plan when I came back home back in 2016, a lot of things changed, but I still was following the guidelines. I didn't allow it to sway me in the wrong direction because, again, the inevitables do happen, and that can happen anywhere. But again, going back to things are being unpredictable in the world. Go down the street, flat tire. Get to the job, they got a fire drill. Like, it's so many different things, so many factors that play into that. But in retrospect, you have to always consider, again, this is for individuals that's getting their life straight and back on the path. You got to always consider, like, okay, let me weigh out my possibilities, or let me have a a backup plan just in case, you know what I'm saying, A, B don't go correctly. You know what I'm saying? You got to have that C plan just in case. You know what I mean? But now it's becoming more because we have more responsibility. If you really ask yourself, what was the biggest bill we
yeah,
paid in prison? The biggest bill we paid in prison was probably a cable bill if we had cable. If you really think about it, I mean, other than us going to
yeah,
commentary, which was a liability,
mm-hmm,
I mean, expense too, but we had to eat. But when you come out here, now you
mm-hmm,
now you now you juggling. You got to juggle stuff now. Like how well can you juggle? Can you juggle credit card payments? Can you juggle, rent, electric, gas, water? You know what I'm saying? Can you subscriptions and cable and Wi-Fi and all this? Can you juggle these things? You know what I'm saying? And with that being said,
mm-hmm,
it ain't like you can lay back on GLP. I mean, certain instances, some people get disability and stuff like that. But out here, you gotta work for what you're trying to obtain or what you're trying to sustain per se. You know what I mean? If you're gonna sustain stuff, you gotta You got to go at it.
Exactly.
And what I find out too, though, and I don't mean to take up a lot of time. See, a lot of cats come out, and a lot of people just want things just handed right to them. Because and when you do hand it right to them, the thing is, when they're out of that, they're not going to know how to get it back because they didn't grind for it in the first place. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I tell people all the time. I said, look, if I give you a fish, you're only going to eat for the day. But if I'm trying to teach you how to fish, you can eat for a lifetime. But if you ain't trying to learn how to fish, you got to keep it moving. I can't keep it moving. I don't got time. I tell people all the time, I don't got time, man. If you're not going, I can give you the juice. I can give you, the advice because I've been through it. I'm telling you from experience. You know what I'm saying? I know the whole, low end, and I know the high end as well. But my thing is, again, some people they get caught up wanting to please these chicks out here, wanting to chase them, wanting to please. Oh, I need money to go to this. How you need money to go to the movies when you can't even keep a roof over your head? You ain't even got a pot to piss in. Somebody you want to take a shorty to the movies. If you broke, you shouldn't even be worried about dating. You should be getting your bread right. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different it's a different mindset, man, when you out here. You know what I mean? And I appreciate everybody that's tuning in. My fault. I appreciate y'all tuning in. It's just a little reentry perspective where we just build and destroy. It's something we do like when we spin the track. When we're in prison, you just spin the track and we talk and we build. Hey, this is what we going through, or hey, this is what I plan on doing. So let them know, Bayox, here's some of your accolades or whatever you want to touch on. We just chilling. We just building.
It's that's always hard for me, grandizing and talking about this what I do, whatever this what I did. But I was blessed in 2019 to start a nonprofit, along with my companion at the time, the Love of Life Community Safe Haven. It's based in North Philadelphia. I also published my first book, The Love of Life. It's on Amazon. I was released from SCI Camp Hill 2022, March 16th, going on 2 years. Inshallah, I'll make that anniversary. I came out here in Harrisburg. I started the Love of Life with my companion when I was released, and we've been doing a lot of nonprofit work. We have 2 mentorship programs. We mentor individuals that's incarcerated. We mentor individuals that came home from this one for the adults. For the juveniles, we have mentorship for the youth. We do community outreach where we passed out food, clothes. We assist with housing, different things, employment. I was going around helping individuals that came home from prison obtain housing and employment. So many different things that we do. I have the Love of Life radio show, Community City Radio, WCCR, where communities can react. And we do that every Friday night, 5 o'clock, 5 p.m. Tune in. Check us out. It's never about me, but it's always about us. And we mean all of us. You, him, her, all of us. So with that being said, we love to live and love life, to do it the right way. So many times that we have devalued another person's life. In doing so, we devalue our lives and the lives of our loved ones because all lives matter. And no matter what, we have to always choose love over hate with and for the love of life. E. Dot, Bayard Thomas. Go ahead, bro. It's your turn. You can't even hear you. Back in, bro? Yeah, it's goofy. What it do? You hear me? You can't hear me? I can't even hear you, bro. This joint like crazy. I can do the sign language if I know the sign languages and stuff. Mm. You're doing bad, bro.